Hey y'all, Brother Ken here. This week I'm bringing you my personal favorite top 5 Crucible weapons of year 2. Like the rest of these top 5 lists, these are my personal opinions, my personal lists, the stuff I use the most. If you guys have a different top 5, let me know in the comments what you think. Alright, I'll start with an honorable mention this week, the Doctrine of Passing. So I got this gun, my first trials in year 2, and I didn't think much of it. I stuck it in my vault and kind of let it just sit there. It wasn't until a few months later when I started getting killed by it constantly that I took it out of my vault and gave it a shot. As it turns out, I'm pretty happy I saved mine since it came with counterbalance. I also normally use small bore instead of brace frame on this thing. I just like that extra range, it makes it feel a little more reliable to me. So this gun didn't quite make it to my top 5 really because I don't use it that often. It really comes out of the vault when I need auto rifle kills for whatever reason, bounties, whatever. And I like it because it's solid, it gets the job done, but it's not one of my absolute favorites. Alright, number 5, Todd Elevens' Duty. So I don't use scout rifles that much, but when I do, this is the one I use. My roll came with crowd control, perfect balance, and hidden hand. And really, this is one of my go-to guns on a lot of the bigger maps like Widow's Court. The 3-tap headshot kill I just love, man. Especially with the roll I have since it has perfect balance. And the gun naturally has a high recoil direction stat, so landing those follow-up shots at a long distance is fairly easy to do. And if you land your shots, this archetype of scout rifle has the fastest time to kill of all scout rifles at 0.8 seconds. And while this gun obviously excels at longer range, even up close, if you need to land a couple body shots, hip fire the thing, follow up with a grenade or a melee, and they are done for. Alright, number 4, the PDX 45. Now I actually have a couple of these that I use from time to time, but my main roll came with fitted stock, rodeo, and rifled barrel. Now I got that roll pretty early on in the Taken King from the gunsmith, and it quickly became one of my go-to weapons just because it was so reliable and so easy to use. As far as the mid to low impact arc-type pulse rifle, it has a pretty fast time to kill at 0.87 seconds. Now if you compare that to the 0.73 seconds on the spare change, the high impact arc-type, or the 0.8 seconds on the Grasp of Malik, it doesn't sound that impressive. The difference is on the high impact archetype, while you can kill in 2 bursts, with the guns we currently have in the game, it's a really hard thing to accomplish on a reliable basis. Same thing with the super fast archetype, the Grasp of Malik, while theoretically it can kill in 3 bursts, I found it unreliable just personally. With the high base stability and the high aim assist on the PDX 45, I've just found it to be the most reliable pulse rifle in year 2. Alright, number 3, the No Land Beyond. Now I was debating with myself whether or not to include an exotic in this list since the rest of the guns are legendary, spoiler alert. I ended up deciding to include it because right now it's the only sniper I feel comfortable taking into the Crucible. Now I've probably mentioned this before in past videos, but I don't have a long history of first-person shooters. Destiny's really the first-person shooter that I've been into seriously. So because I don't have all that experience like a lot of other people, sniping was the hardest thing for me to get into when going to the Crucible for the first time. So back before the April update, my 2 go-to Crucible snipers were Defiance of Yasmin and the Black Spindle. At the time, they both had 4x zoom scopes, which with the April update got changed to 5x zoom scopes. So all of my practice and all of my muscle memory was based on that 4x zoom scope. So after the April update, I couldn't snipe for shit. I started going to Venus a couple times a week to practice sniping on the Fallen there, using NLB and another sniper like the LDR or whatever I had at the time. I found that the No Land Beyond, because it still had the 4x zoom scope, the No Land Beyond just felt comfortable and felt right. I decided to take it into the Crucible for a few matches, did pretty well, and I haven't really bothered with any other snipers since then. Now it's still a very weird gun, but once you get used to the sights and get used to doing the reload glitch, I love it. Using it has definitely improved my Crucible game. Alright, number 2, the Lord High Fixer. My roll came with Outlaw, Rifled Barrel, and Reactive Reload. This is one of the year 1 guns that came forward with the April update. And I gotta say, before the April update, I didn't bother with hand cannons, they felt unreliable. The range was garbage, and I just couldn't hit anything. I got the gun from a package, it looked like an interesting roll, so I decided to take it into a few games, and man, I loved it. The range is basically maxed out, and with the April update improving the range even further, it just felt like a dream to shoot. I could actually hit stuff. Also at the time, not really being a hand cannon guy, I didn't realize how awesome this roll is. Outlaw giving you increased reload speed after a headshot kill, and reactive reload giving you more damage after a kill and a reload. I started noticing that in 6s I was able to 2-tap people. With reactive reload on, the gun does 114 to the head, so a follow-up headshot doing 86, 200 damage, takes out pretty much anybody. So at the time, I had just found a hand cannon that I really liked, and I didn't know much about hand cannons, not being a hand cannon guy, so I started doing some research. And a lot of people are saying that one of the benefits to using a hand cannon is good in-air accuracy. That completely blew my mind and changed my whole playstyle. Being able to do a jump shot and finish off somebody who was low, it was literally game changing for me. So at that point, I decided to try a couple of different other hand cannons. I got a decent IS Luna and just couldn't do as well with it. So I did some more research and found out that the recoil direction stat on the Lord High Fixer is 90. And that means the recoil on it is basically vertical, which I think is what makes it feel so nice to use. So these days, unless we're playing on a giant map, this is basically my go-to primary for everything. Alright, and finally, number 1, the Vortex. Now I know you're probably saying to yourself, what the hell is the Vortex? And I'll tell you, it's one of the fusion rifles available from Future Warcall. It falls into the faster charging archetype along with the long far gone. And aside from a high aim assist at 79, the stats on it just aren't amazing. It has one of the lowest stability stats at 44 versus 55 on the Plan C, and one of the lower ranges at 39 versus 46 on the Plan C. It does 40 damage per bolt in Crucible, so it takes 5 bolts to kill pretty much anybody. And the vendor roll you can get comes with brace frame, so it's not too bad. What really made this gun for me and what made it my number 1 choice for year 2 is the roll I got out of a package. My roll came with Hidden Hand, Rifled Barrel, and Icarus. So up until this point, all the fusion rifles I had been using were the high stability type. Plan C, the Thesan, the Vacancy, so I really had it stuck in my mind that that's what you need for a fusion rifle to be good, high stability, so you can get that long range one-shot kill. So I got this gun out of the package, decided to level it up and take it into a game just as a joke. Oh, it's got Icarus, I'll voop some people from the air, right? Probably make an idiot out of myself. And to my great surprise, it worked like a charm. The combination of the faster charging archetype with the Icarus meant I can use it almost like a longer range shotgun. I could fairly reliably voop people while jumping. The more I used it, the more I realized most people had no idea what to do against that. They're used to either getting vooped on the ground or shotgunned in the air. So I took this fusion rifle into almost every match. I combined it with No Land Beyond. It became one of my favorite loadouts. So there are some downsides to this weapon. Because it has low stability, getting those longer range kills on the ground is not as reliable. And so I started pairing it up with grenades like Axiom Bolt and Skip Grenade to finish people off. I also found it to be a great counter to shotgun rushers because it charges so fast and they're running straight at you, you can take them out before they even get anywhere near you. It's also a pretty good counter to other fusion rifles because it charges faster than theirs. All this stuff made the gun a lot of fun to use, and I felt it was really unique. It really made me want to use the gun more. It became part of my unique style. And so for all of these reasons, it's my number 1 used Crucible weapon for year 2, and I'm really happy that I can take it with me to year 3. Alright, that'll do it for this week's top 5 list, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of my list, and let me know what your top 5 weapons are. Next week, I'll be doing my top 5 PvE weapons, so that'll be a lot of fun. For now, my name is Brother Ken. I appreciate you watching. Later.